down, and the website. I believe somebody has shared your video. If you could, maybe I will cancel it from our screen. Okay. So our website looks exactly like what you see on the screen. On the very top, upper right, is the sign-in page. So I know most of you sign on to the website or connect to our website via a mobile phone or an Android phone. So if you are doing it with an Android phone, the interface will look a bit different than what you see right now. But you will still get the basic tabs like sign in and register tab. You will see the search button. You will see the search field over here, and this is our phone number in our Canada office. Now, once you go to the website, the first thing you want to do, if you so wish, is to register. And to register, you click on the sign in or the register tab. Now, once you do that, it presents you with the sign in page. So if you already have an account with us, you should know your username and password. But if you don't and you have forgotten, all you do is you click on forgot password, and then you put in the email with which you signed on with which you created your profile with. So once you put in the email, it will it will generate an email to your personal, whatever email address you put down in here. And then you'll be able to click a link from there to log on to the website. If you don't have a profile and it's your first time, you click on register, and then it presents you with the register page. You put in your first name, last name, email address, your phone number, your password, and then you confirm the password. Now, for the email, the phone number, I would strongly urge you to make sure that it is a correct phone number, because anything you do on the website, if we need to pass any information to you, we will send you an email or we will give you a call. There are times people will come and place a bid on the website, they put somebody else's phone number, and then we try to reach out to them, and we call and the person said, I have never registered on your website before. So in essence, the person who did the registration didn't put the correct information, or they just put somebody else's phone number. So the registration process is very simple and it's very, very straightforward. So once you do the registration, after you are done with the registration, you'll be presented with a sign-in page like this. I have already created an account. So for the purpose of time and demonstration, I will just go ahead and sign in. And I believe one of us, your phone is off mute. So please, if you will help us and remove it and put it on mute. We could hear somebody's background. We hear the noise. Hello? Somebody else, one of us, maybe let me see who it is, then I will let you know. I think somebody by the name Jonas, your phone is on mute, off mute. So please, if you could take it off mute for us. Thank you very much, Jonas. I see you are off. And then somebody by the name Hadia, you have your video streaming to all of us. Please, if you take yourself off streaming, that will be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, so for the purpose of demonstration, I'm having difficulty, so let me just create one account quickly. And I will use our company shipping account. And I will put our corporate phone number, 905 4012025. I'll create a password. And then after that, I'll click on register. Okay, so my password doesn't match, which is a good example. We have to make sure the information is very accurate. Why? Okay. So after that, you click on register. Now you see this email account already exists. And so it is not allowing me. I'll try a different email. And then after that, I click on register. There you go. So now it has allowed me in. And once I get into the system, I will see this type of a screen. After that, I have the right. How do I know I see my name James here? Because that is what I used in creating the profile. Now, once you finish creating your profile, now you are ready to do transaction on our website. The first thing most people would like to do is to run a search on the website. So to do a search, you click on the search button here, or you just put in the name, the make, the year of whichever car you are looking for, and you'll be able to get in. So let's say I want to search for a Toyota Corolla, which is quite popular in Ghana. Now, once you click on the search, you get the search page. One thing that is also worth noting down, now at this point in time, we do have 250,929 cars on our website. What does that mean? Does that mean we have 250,000 cars in our office at Mississauga, Canada? No. AuctionCarz is a used car service company. So what that means is that most of the cars that we see on our website, they are with major auction companies in the US and Canada. What does that mean? Simply, there are companies that basically take cars from insurance companies. So when there is an accident over here, typically, depending on the level of damage of the car, most insurance companies would not like to repair that car. And it's simple because it costs a lot of money in terms of labor, in terms of parts to repair these cars. So what they simply do is that they give it to their insurance company. Then the insurance companies will now send it to the auction houses so that they will sell those cars to defray their cost. And once they do that, they publish it out there, and then it comes into our inventory, and then we are able to sell it to clients are able to buy it from us. So these 250,000 cars, they are a combination of salvage cars. When I say salvage, I mean accident cars, and they are a combination of clean cars. That means they are non-accidented cars. Because a lot of people tell us that we do see a lot of your cars are salvaged. It looks like they are accidented. Does that mean it's only accident cars you have on your website? The answer is no. We do have a lot of clean cars. So we will do a search. Two ways to do the search. The first way is to put in the name, the year, the make, the model, and the year. Or even better still, you can put just the model and the year. So if we run a search for Toyota Corolla 2013, we put it up here, we click on search. Once we run that search, it will give us a hit. So these are all the 2013 Corollas we have. How many do we have in the system? 388 of them. Now, on the other side, we also have a search panel here. So if we go back, or even if we click on the search, we will be presented with this page here, this side of our screen. So you click the drop down, it gives you all the cars that we have on our website. These are the make. So when we say make, we are talking of like Toyota, we are talking of Honda, we are talking of that's the way the make works. Mercedes, BMW. Now, you can type the first letter of every car you are looking for. So I typed T on my keyboard, and then I'm able to navigate to Toyota. Then I look for Corolla. Corolla is here. Then I specify the year of the car. So let's say I'm looking for 2000 and let's say 15. But then we can also specify a range. So I'll say 2015 to 2016. Then once I'm done with that, I just click on search. When I click on search, it gives me a list of all the cars that are on our website that meet that specification and criteria. Now, some of us also want something we call buy now, which we are going to explain in the next moment. So we have the option to also check on the buy now option, and then we update our search. It will only give us cars that are buy now ready. That means we can buy the car immediately. We don't have to wait for the live bidding, which we are also going to talk about right now. So that is how to run a search on our website, and that is how to at least get any form of a car. Now, once you have selected and you have specified what you are looking for, the next thing is you click on the image. And when you click on the image, it gives you the vehicle details. So when you are buying a car, you have to make sure that you are getting the right car. And to get the right car means that you check the details of the car. So you check the model, the year, make, and model is already up here. If you want to share this car with a friend, you can click on the platform, Facebook, Twitter, whatever be the social media to do it. But one of the information that is very crucial and very important to your search is the time the auction ends. So this auction will start in 8 hours 43 minutes. The day of the auction is Saturday. The date is today's date. The time of the auction is going to be 2 p.m., not GMT time zone. GMT is your time zone in Ghana, but this is Eastern Standard Time. So that means whatever this time is 5 hours behind the Ghana time. The other thing you want to check is the location. The location for this car is Houston. Why is the location important? Because when we buy the car from the auction house, we have to move the car to our warehouse, or we have to send the car to the port. The destination of the car within US after we purchase it depends on how we are shipping it. So then that also takes us to the next, another concept of shipping, which is ro-ro or container shipping. So if we are shipping the car by ro-ro, we will take the car to the port because we are putting it directly on the ship. If we are shipping it by consolidated container shipping, which means we put a couple of cars together, a maximum of 4 cars, we put it together, we share the cost among the owners. For that consolidated, we have to take it to a warehouse. We have to load them properly so that we decrease damages on the car, and then we ship it. So the location will determine how much it costs to tow the car from wherever the car is to the warehouse. That makes a lot of difference. So if we are sending a car to a warehouse in New Jersey, this car will not be the ideal one to buy, and it's simply because it will take a lot of money to move the car from this place to New Jersey. The next thing here that you want to check is the buy now price. We are going to talk about the buy now price in a short while, so I will leave that with us. Now, the next thing is the current offer. That's two. We are going to differentiate between the two. But then we also have the inventory number. So sometimes when those of us who chat with us through our web chat or through our WhatsApp chat, when you tell us that I've seen this car, I need the car, we will always tell you what is the inventory number. The inventory number is the unique identifier that will help us know which particular car you are looking for. So when you give us this inventory number, we will run a search on the top here inside the search box. And then once we do that, we are able to know the car. We are able to tell you a bit about the car. Now, in the details and description section of the page, there are a few information you have to pay attention to. One of them is the mileage. The concept of mileage is a bit misleading and confusing to a lot of people. Most people think that when the mileage of a car is very low, automatically it means that the car is in a very good condition. So a lot of people check this information. But well, that information is probably 70% true, but 30% false. Why do I say that? Because there are some people who bring cars to Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, wherever, and because the laws of transportation are not as strict, they will buy a car that has a mileage of about maybe 290,000, which means the car has run a lot of mileage. That means the mileage may affect the engine, and then they will roll back the mileage, bring it down to probably 20,000. So on average in US and Canada, every year owners of cars drive about 20,000 on their cars. So if you buy a car this year, brand new car, 2018 Toyota Corolla, chances are by the end of the year, from January to December, you would have driven 20,000 kilometers on the car. So then by the time you are buying a car that is about 10 years old, the expectation is that your mileage should be almost closer to 200,000. It's not always the case, but it is most likely the situation. So when somebody is giving you a car to buy, this car is about 11 years old, 12 years old, and the person said the mileage is only 10,000. Boy, that is quite a surprise. Does that mean the person bought this car and never used the car? They just put it in their garage and just left the car? What is happening there? Once I see that, that leads me to suspect something. So the concept of mileage is very important. But then if your car you are buying is quite old, you have to be careful when the mileage is extremely low. Now you notice that this car is only 2 years old, and so the mileage is 29,000. That makes sense to me. So the other thing with mileage is also that higher mileage does not necessarily mean weak engine, because a lot of drivers, they drive highway mileage. Highway mileage is that they drive on the freeway, go travel long distance, which is very good and safe for the engine of the car. So in terms of distance that they've covered, it's a lot of distance, but really the engine may not be as weak. So let's always differentiate between the two. Sometimes the condition of the car may look very good, but the mileage may be a bit on the higher side. But then also, if the mileage is extremely high, then I personally would not recommend that we go for it, depending on the year. So if you are buying like a 2016 Toyota Corolla and the mileage is around 150 to 200,000, you don't want to buy such a car, because then really they have abused the car. So the mileage is very important. The next thing is the title. The title is very important. Sometimes people will send us a lot number, the inventory number here, that I need this car, I want to buy it now. We check the title. The title will say that this car is just a bill of sale. A bill of sale means that that car cannot be exported out of the US. Some of the car they will say is parts only. The parts only is okay, we are able to export it. Some of the cars they will say it's a flat damage. The flat damage titles are okay. But then let's pay attention to the condition or the title code because that is very important. Now, the run drive status of the car is also very key. This one shows unavailable. The run drive status is whether the car is able to start or spark, whether the car, when you spark the car, if it is able to move. So if the car's transmission is damaged, you can't move the car. Or the car has some form of a mechanical problem, you may not be able to move it. So if you see something that is unavailable, that is your clue to check, to let us check the car in detail for you. If it says it runs and drives, perfect. That means the car starts, everything is good. The other thing is the keys. This car says that the key is not present. That means this car, we don't know whether it starts, we don't know whether it runs. We know that the key is completely missing. That means when you buy this car, you have to get a new keys. The color of the car and these other things, those we will not spend as much time on, is very straightforward. The engine capacity is also important. This is 1.8 liter. So that is the part that you may want to pay attention to. The fuel type, it shows as gasoline. We've got a lot of clients asking us that, what does that mean? Gasoline means it's gasoline like we have it in Africa? No. Gasoline means just gas. That means petrol. Petrol in Ghana terms. So let's not be deterred by the term gasoline. Now let's quickly jump to our bidding process. A lot of people have asked us that what is the difference between purchase, the buy now price, which is the one in red up here, and the current offer. The concept is very simple. For any auction, whoever is willing to pay the most becomes the owner of any given car. So then it starts from the minimum and then we climb it to the highest. Now, this current offer here means that somebody has made an offer willing to pay $11,300 for this particular Toyota Corolla. So that is the bidding process. Now, this part of the bidding process, we call it pre-bidding. The pre-bidding is whereby people offer an amount to pay for a car before we enter into something we call live bidding. The live bidding process is where the actual auction happens. So then, let's say person A, person B, and person C are interested in this particular car. Now, what I will do after the end of today, which is February 3rd, after 8 hours, I will take this amount and then I will use it to attend for a live bidding. So then what has happened is that some of our clients has offered to pay $11,300 for this car. And once they make a security deposit for this car, I will attend the live bidding on their behalf. And then I am going to place a bid based on this maximum amount. But if person B, let's say I'm person A, if person B is willing to pay more for this car, let's say person B is willing to pay $12,000 for it. If person B offers that amount, at that point I have to let go of the car. I can't buy because I am willing to pay maybe $11,400. Now, so that is the concept of the bidding. We have the pre-bidding and then the live bid. The pre-bidding is whereby you make an offer. So now if you want to make another offer on this car, it will be placing a bid on, it will be in the $100 increment. So it's already $11,300. We have to increase it by $100. After that, you put the money amount here and then you click on place an offer. Once you do that, you get an email generated to you and then it will give you payment instructions that you either have to contact our office, one of our offices, or somebody will call you. Because what happens is that when you place a bid, we also get an email alert and then at that point we call. And that is why earlier on I said that it's important for us to put in accurate information in terms of email, in terms of phone numbers when we are doing our registration, because by doing so, we are able to reach you. Now, let's just cancel this. So when you place a bid here, then we call you and then you tell us that I'm willing to pay 11,400. We will tell you that make a deposit. The deposit is what will guarantee us that you really mean what you are saying. A lot of people will come and play around on the site. They will just place bids, just playing around. And so if everybody who plays around and plays a bid, we were to attend the live auction with that bid, the problem is that once we buy the car at the live auction, there are cost implications. If we buy it, the purchase is final. If we change our mind, we pay penalties. And so we want to make sure that people who are actually placing bids on our website, they are serious about what they are saying. Now, on the other side, we also have the buy now price that has been shown in red. A lot of people don't want to go through the whole headache, if I may borrow that term, to go through and be going through this bidding process, and then we attend the live bid, we come back to them, we said, oh, somebody offered a higher amount than you, so look for a different car and all that. So a lot of our clients go through the process we call, in auction terms, we call it buy now prices. The buy now prices is what an auction or an insurance company, the fixed amount that they have put on a particular car, that they are willing to accept that amount without taking anybody through the headache of the bidding process. So for example, this amount here, I can just place a bid, go to the back end, and then just buy the car without going through waiting for February 3rd. The difference is that you save yourself the time. So you just go, you buy it, and then we make the payment for you. So that is our the difference between the two types of biddings, the buy now and then the bidding. Now the next thing is our payment, which in a way I have also mentioned a few things about it. But before we even get to the payment, a lot of us also ask this question that the amount I see on your website, is that a final amount? It's a big no. The reason it's a big no is because the auction houses selling these cars, they are also providing a service and they charge auction fees. Remember, it is an insurance company or a car rental company or an individual who have signed up with the auction to sell a car with them. The auction house has provided a huge lot of yard that is able to take about maybe, let's say, 500 to 1,000 cars at a time. And so when people bring it in, the auction house, they are doing a job, they are doing their business. And so when you sell the car for 11,300, this 11,300 is going to the company, which is the insurance company that is selling the car. But because the auction house is providing a service, they will charge us an auction fee, which is based on the total amount the car is sold for. So the auction fee starts from anywhere from, I think, $350 all the way up to even as high as $1,000, depending on the price of the car. Now, then you are also asking, is that the final amount I pay? To me, I will say yes, because once we sell you the car, we can say we are done, transaction is over. But then, because most of our clients are outside the US, they also want to find a way to bring the car to their destination. And if the insurance, the auction houses, they don't provide those type of service. So we stand in, we say we will make sure, we will guarantee that your car that you saw on the internet is going to arrive to you at your country, in your country, all in one piece and intact. So then we have to move this car from the auction house to the port. To do that, we have to find a driver to tow the car. When we tow the car, a lot of people say, does that mean the car is damaged? No, it's not a damaged car. But then the car is not roadworthy. Because the car is at the insurance, there is no, at the auction house, there is no insurance on the car. It could be that it's a salvage car. Even if it is not a salvage, no accident, once they put the car at the auction house, there is no roadworthiness covering the car. So we cannot put a driver behind the wheels of that car. They will get a ticket. The police will arrest them. So we give it to somebody who will tow it. They will move it to the port or they will move it to the warehouse. Depending on the distance from the auction house to the warehouse will determine how much it is going to be. Averagely, it starts from, I think, $300. Sometimes it's a bit cheaper. It could be even as low as $100, but the towing could go as high as even $1,000. If you are moving a car from a place like California, the distance is very far and it takes a lot of money to move the car. So it's a caution to those of us who come to the website to search that when you see any car in California, let's just be careful and not just go for it. Ask about it first. Then the next thing is the shipment. The shipment is moving the car from the port. We have 5 major ports in the US, exit ports, I mean. Exit ports, by definition, is any port that people, shipping lines will take goods and send it directly outside the US or outside Canada. So in Canada, we do have only one major exit port over here. Canada's exit port is in Halifax. The US, there is a port in New Jersey, one in New York, one in Florida, Jacksonville, one in Texas, and then there is also another one in California. So these are the main major ports. So what we do is that we have major warehouses closer to these ports, and when we buy your car, we either take it to the warehouse or we just will ship it by Roro. And so that is how the whole concept of the auction works, or the whole concept of moving the cars work. Now, payment. Most people will say that do you operate on credit? We say no. Just as I just explained, these are auction houses. Once we buy the car, if we buy a car from them today, they give us averagely within 72 hours. Within that 72 hours, they want to receive their full payment. And once they don't get the payment, they apply a penalty to the purchase for late payment. And then also, after I think 4 days, then they start charging storage for keeping the car in their yard, for not picking up your car after you purchased the car. And so because of that, as soon as we buy the car, we make sure that people get the they make the payment. How we do the payment is that you pay a deposit of 10% or $400 as minimum, which is an expression of interest and intent. So if, let's say, you are interested in buying this Toyota Corolla, the price is $11,600. If you want us to do a buy now, you will be required to pay $1,600, which is 10% of the value of this car. Once we get that amount, we go to the auction directly. We purchase the car right away. When we purchase the car, you are required to pay the balance of this amount, including the auction fees, which we will calculate and add it for you. You add it to it, and then you'll be required to pay that within 72 hours. So that means technically 3 days. We all know that wiring money to abroad, depending on which part of the world that you are, sometimes could take forever. So what we do is that we have offices and bank accounts especially in Ghana and then also in Nigeria. So what happens is that once you place your bid and you win, we give you an account with EcoBank. You can choose to put the money over there. But then if, for example, you bought the car for $11,600, the bank will charge us a wire fee. So we calculate the wire fee that the bank will be charging on top and add to it for you. Then we send the money over. That way you don't get to pay penalties and all these other charges. So that is how the whole concept works. Now, if you want to send the money to us directly, we do have an account here. You can wire it to us with no if you can wire it with no difficulty, we welcome that. But then you can go to our office, make the payment, take the receipt to them, and then you take it from there. So that is the concept of shipping and the concept of moving the cars, as well as the concept of payment. Now, at this point, we have about 20 minutes till the end of our session. So we will open the lines and we will take questions. So if any of us have questions, please.
Telephone number.
And then please, somebody, we can hear you. You ask your question. I hear somebody talking in the back. But then, if not, please give us. Feel free, put your question in the chat, or the lines are open. Please go ahead and ask any question that you may have. The lines are open.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
I'm with you.
Yeah, this is Prince Ajay talking. Please, I wanted to find out from the US.
Yes.
The 5 ports that you talked about. Can you do shipment from all the 5 ports, or there's just a particular port that you can ship from when you want to send the car to the?
Very good question. Thank you, Prince. We ship from every port in the US.
Thank you too.
Are you with me?
Yes, please.
Yes, we ship from every port in the US. So that means all that we do is that we let's say you are buying from New Jersey, we will just send it to the New Jersey port if the car is a run and drive car. Hello, somebody is talking on the side. Is this Prince?
Okay. Yeah, Ben is talking. No, yeah, this is now Prince, but it was Ben initially.
Oh, okay. Did I address your question, please?
Yeah, you did. Thanks so much. That means that it makes sense. For instance, whenever you are buying, you buy it from somewhere that's close to any of these ports. So it reduces how much you would have to spend to transport it from wherever the port.
Your line sounds a bit faint. Can you repeat the question? You sound a bit far away.
He said it means when you are buying, it should be closer to a port to reduce the cost of transportation from the warehouse to the port.
Definitely. Very good. Yes, it does. If the closer you purchase, so for example, if you buy from California, it takes forever to bring it to Ghana. So then what we do for our clients is that we tow the car from California all the way to Texas, and then we ship it. Now, when we do that, it costs no lesser than $700 to tow the car. That means it will cost you a fortune. Whereas if you bought the car in Texas, maybe it will cost you probably $200 to $300 or so to tow it to the port. So it is always good to buy it closer to the exit port.
I am Ebenezer. Please, what is the lead time of your order? What is the lead time of ordering and time of delivery? How long does it take?
Very good question. So it takes, once we ship the car, I will start from when we ship the car. It takes 4 to 6 weeks from the time the car leaves the port in the US to arrive in Ghana. That does not factor in all the towing and all the bidding process. So for example, you see a car today, you make a deposit. We buy the car. In about 3 days, the car should be at the port or at the warehouse. So then that means if we have other cars at the warehouse and we are shipping by consolidated container shipping, then we are able to just immediately send the car away. If we don't have enough cars, we have to put it there and let it wait until we fill that container. So it will take a few days. It could even take a few weeks, like maybe 3-4 weeks. Now, somebody will say, well, I don't want to go through that. Just send the car through Roro. When we are sending through Roro, the car has to be a run and drive car. And so in that case, we'll just put it at the port and send it out. So all these other processes leading to the shipping could make the process delay a bit. But in an ideal situation, if let's say we saw the car, you like it, we bought it, it's run and drive, you want us to send it to Ghana right away, we are looking at 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe you made the payment, we showed you the car, or you saw the car, we bid, we didn't win. You said, okay, I'll look for another one. This back and forth, maybe it took 2 weeks before you found the car you want. Then in that case, you notice that already even the buying alone has taken us 2 weeks. And of course, it's not without your consent and knowledge. We'll be doing this together with you. So the whole process, if you are to ask me that how long does it take, a yes or no answer, I will say it takes 4 to 6 weeks for the car to arrive once we ship it. That is the yes part. The no part is that depending on the things leading to the purchase and the movement, it could take a little more than that 4 to 6 weeks.
Hello, once again, what are the Incoterms you use in transporting?
The what, please?
The Incoterm used, is it ex-works, free on board, or duty payments paid? Yes, the Incoterm used.
Okay. So for that, it depends. Of course, the duty you pay it once when the car arrives in Ghana. Time didn't permit us to go into clearing. We will open another section about 2 weeks to tackle that. But we ship the car and we let you pay the duty at the destination. The freight, the shipping charge. At some point, we were even shipping cars to people without taking the payment until 1 week before the arrival of the car. But then some of the shipping companies, they've been defrauded by some of the African clients. And so they sort of changed their rules. When I say some of the African clients, I think in some of the African countries, once the car gets to the destination, people are able to pay their way out. So they pay a bribe and then they take the container without paying the shipping. So because of that, a lot of the shipping companies have changed their policy. They many a times demand 100% payment from us. But because we want our clients to feel comfortable, what we do is that sometimes we let you pay 50% of the cost of the freight. We ship the thing out, and then 1 week prior to the arrival, then you pay the remaining balance. There are some clients we have good terms and good relationship with because they are repeated clients. We know them, they are car dealers. In their case, occasionally we will just ship it. We will send the car away, you don't pay anything. Once the car, 1 week to the arrival of the car, then we get into, you pay the balance.
So who bears the cost of insurance?
Insurance, if it is optional, just like in any auction, shipping process. So for example, if you ship a car, you have the option to pay insurance on it or you waive the insurance. If you choose so to do it, you bear the cost. Some of the salvage cars.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, some of the salvage cars, really, most insurance is for when anything happens to the car when they loaded it. So, for example, if let's say we load your car in a consolidated shipping, any scratches happens to it, a clean car, brand new car, then somebody if you put insurance on it, the insurance company will have to refund the entire car. But if a lot of people who are buying salvage cars, damaged cars, they will say, well, I don't want any insurance because I mean, damages are already on the car. I'm going to fix it anyways. So why bother? So if you choose to put insurance on it, it becomes your cost.
Okay, thank you. I'm Jonas.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there any way to have access directly to the duty to pay about the car that you want to order?
Definitely. Oh, you mean getting the cost of the duty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For the cost of the duty, our Ghana office help people to get that, right? So if you need any duty, you feel free and call our office. They will do their best to help you. Remember, don't quote us on it. We just do it based on historical data, so that we tell you the car will cost 20,000 Ghana cedis, and then it arrives and it's 23,000. Then you say, well, okay, you guys have misled me. No, it depends on interest rate. It depends on, sorry, not interest rate, dollar rate. It depends on multiple factors. So whatever quote we give you, it is just based on historical data. But at least whatever we give you is closer to the realistic amount.
Okay, thank you. Can you repeat the place that you have your warehouses?
Come again, sorry?
Can you repeat the places that you have your 5 warehouses?
Oh, okay. We have in New Jersey. We have one in Toronto. Here we ship from. We have one in Georgia, which is Rincon, Georgia. We have one in Texas. And then we also have one in California, but we are trying to avoid California because it takes 3 months minimum average for people to ship out of that place. So we try to send the cars to other locations.
Okay. So if I buy a car from this place, definitely there will be lesser than 300 or 400.
Yes, it all depends. It all depends, and depends on where we are sending it out from, right? So, but then we whatever car you give us, we tell you it will cost this much, this much, this much, so that you get a clear picture of how much it's going to cost you. Okay, so thank you so much.
Please, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so my name is Kingsley, right? And I wanted to ask something. Do you have the, sorry I was late, I was doing some stuff, couldn't catch up with you. My problem here is, do you have the cars, let's say, in stock that you guys are selling, or you also bidding from some other places to sell to us? And 2, why is it that your cars looks a little bit cheaper than other online platforms, if I may ask?
Okay, that's a good question. So the cars are all from, I explained that earlier. The cars are from the major auction houses from the US. Now, once it is a major database, because we are a service company, we are plugged into every auction house's database. Some of the other companies, it could be that they add all the other charges to it. So, so first question, let me address that we don't have the cars in our yard. We get it from major auctions. The second question is that why are we so cheap? We are cheap because we try to put the minimal cost on the service we provide. For example, this car here, the price, it is the buy now price. It could be that this car is directly located at IAA. It could be directly located at auction. Copart, it could be at Mannheim, it could be at Odessa. All the major service providing companies get their inventory from these 4 places. Now, this is the price that when you go to any of these companies' site, depending on who has this car, this is the price you see over there. But then the other companies, what they do is maybe they will put the cost of towing, the cost of shipping, the cost of all the other charges to it, and then it makes the price looks as though ours is much cheaper. But then we are trying to give the clear picture of how much it will cost, because remember, there are people who also have access to IAA, Copart, and all that. So if I pick an inventory from IAA and I put this amount and add all the other charges, and you come and see that amount that, okay, this car is 13,000. You go to Copart and it shows as 11,600. Then it will create the impression that we have inflated our charge. So we try to make sure that we give the accurate information. And then also you see here, there are auction fees, there are dealer fees. Those are all additional charges that will come on top of the buy now price. So there are multiple factors that comes into play. But then in general, our prices are much cheaper.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, so
Yeah, sorry.
just last question though. I always visit sites. I visit your site most of the time, and why I can ask again?
No, I'm with you.
I usually visit your sites, and at times there's some cars. Yeah, there are some cars. Let's say you write there. Let's say $25 hasn't been maybe $25 there, and let's say it's about an hour for auction to end, and the hour ends and nobody bids. So that means that car went for $25 or something.
No, it means that is the buy now, the bidding amount that somebody has offered to pay.
Okay.
So others will add their amount to it, will express their expression of interest to purchase, and then from there, the final amount will be decided. So the $25 is not the final amount; it is just an amount somebody has offered to pay.
Okay.
If you see the red one here, buy now, that is the final amount plus the auction charges. This is just an offer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll be doing business with you guys.
Okay, so we will hold another session. Unfortunately, I have another seminar in Nigeria. It starts in 5 minutes. So so sorry if we have to wrap up, but that is the time we gave anyways. But the chat will be open. We'll post the video over there for this session so that all of us will be able to play back. But I'll also be answering your questions in the chat during the day for you if you have any further questions. So thank you very, very much for your time. We will advertise another session on shipping, on other ways of buying, so that we will inform the general public about that. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.